Hey guys, King of Charmanders aka Drew here, and this is my video on the safe switch. If you didn't see my video on my leads, guys, look below on how I look at leads. Welcome to the switch slash safe switch guide slash if you lose the lead, this is what you throw yourself in, or this is what you throw into the opponent. So most of you, if you are a great player and you are watching this, you already know what a safe switch is. If you're brand new and you need to know when you lose the lead, how do you get the match back and how do you win? Even though it may be hard, this will show you how I look at creating a safe switch for my teams. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, so as you see here, here's a little chart about the secrets of my safe switch. So for my safe switch, as you saw here, I'm showing you the one for Master League. That's my Master League teacher team right there. I broke Master League. It took a lot of research, but as you look right there, that's my team featured right there on the top teams. And now for this team, as you see, I had Dragon as a lead, and Mewtwo was my safe switch. If you look to the left, Psy Strike, Psycho Cut, and Focus Blast was the best moveset for Mewtwo because that was my safe switch with a 124% great performance average, which is amazing. Now, the reason why Mewtwo as a safe switch worked for my Master League team was because here's the thing, for Mewtwo, it serves one of two purposes. As you see on pvpoke.com's definition of using a switch or safe switch, the best Pokemon is switch from a favorite lead, and these Pokemon have the safe matchups and can pressure shield or deal heavy damage even in their losses. So even though my Mewtwo lost against Giratinas, it could pressure shields with Psy Strike because Psy Strike goes so fast and deals so much damage. And even though Mewtwo loses against steals like Dialga, if I can use Focus Blast, I can nuke through shields. And even then, if my opponent is afraid of the Focus Blast, I can still blast your shields with Psy Strike. So Mewtwo was an incredible safe switch. As you look on pvpoke.com, a lot of what I'll do when I theory craft is after I do my lead, after I research my lead, I'm like, alright, I really like how this lead does. I like its movesets. I like its coverage against the current meta. I will look and see on my switches tab on pvpoke.com. If you look right here, this information is available for free. Again, make sure you go to pvpoke.com. Make sure you donate to Caxama's Patreon. Amazing human being. Love the dude. And this resource is so valuable for us great battlers. You study this. You look at the switches. As you see here, I use the number 2. The number 2 Deoxys, that's actually my safe switch, the Rocks Slide Psycho Boost one. That is my current safe switch because it's of its coverage, its ability to break shields, and I really like it. It's a lot of fun to use. So that's my analysis on PvPoke and just how I pick my safe switch. You want something that what do you need coverage for, really. You got your lead, and then how can you protect your lead if things go south? That's what the switch is for. Alright, so as I said on my lead video, the secrets of a safe switch, or at least how I look at safe switch, look at 3 elements. I look at the Pokemon it's typing, I look at its stats, its attack, its HP defense. Is this Pokemon really thick and really bulky, or does he do so much damage with fast charge moves, or does his fast move itself just do a lot of damage? And 3, the moveset, energy generation, damage, and the typing of the moves. The typing of the moves matters so much. For example, like for Azumarill, a lot of people argue about the Play Rough, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam Play Rough, or Ice Beam Hydro Pump variation. Again, movesets do matter. When you pick a safe switch, what is your team weakest against? What would be really bad if you saw it? And that's the reason I'm giving an example right over here, because it's much easier to see how a safe switch is emulated and the purpose of it, rather than me just telling you these words. Obviously, a safe switch is what you switch into when you lose the lead, but at the same time, you need to be able to use a safe switch effectively, and its movesets need to be able to cover typings, which is why for safe switches, movesets are more vital because they can help cover more typings. If your moveset covers a wide spectrum of the meta, you are really good and you're really solid even if you do lose the lead. So for those of you that love pictures, because I know some of y'all really like pictures and graphs and data and all this, here's a really simple graph on what's called the Regiazu core. So the reason why the Regiazu core, or if you've heard that term around, I call it's really strong because Reggie and Azu cover each other and a lot of matchups. As you see over here, this simple infograph, Reggie loses to AWAC Fighters and Mud Boys. What has very strong matchups against all 3 of these? Azumarill. So you'll switch into Azumarill, who has a chance versus what Reggie is weak against. Again, you either want to break shields or deal heavy damage against a lot of neutral matchups, and that's what Azumarill does. It covers a lot of Reggie's weaknesses. I'll be going more into cores on another video. There's a reason why a lot of people will talk about something called cores, where leads and safe switches are often paired up together because they're so effective together with either the Pokemon itself and the movesets, or it's, like I said, perfect combination blends together very well. That's what a core is, and I'll cover that more. But as you see here, for the sake of this simple infograph, we have a simple, hey, if you lose the freaking lead, switch immediately, or gauge your situation, and then switch, as you see right here on this chart. And now what's going to come next, I'm going to show you an example. I will shoutcast a match where I actually use and utilize the safe switch, because it's better for you to not just see a graph, but also to see how it's done in action. And that's coming right now. Alright, so here's a match shoutcast. As you see, I have Lan Hikari, really great player. Played him a lot. Ranked pretty high during Season 1. Now, I have a lead that loses right now. Altaria, Shiftry loses against Altaria. Now, what do? This is the example of the safe switch. So now I'm going to gather a little bit of energy here, and then I'm going to switch into Deoxys defense. Now, the reason why I switch into Deoxys defense is because it has Rock Slide. Rock Slide breaks shields, and also Altaria is weak against rock type because it's flying type. Flying is weak against rock, that's why you rock slide to death. Now my opponent will switch into their Cresselia. This is great because even though my opponent is I'm not sure if my opponent was lying there, but there we go. We get the rock slides up. Your opponent will normally switch into their own safe switch. In this case, my Deoxys D does grace against Cresselia because the Cresselia, even though it resists my counters, I also resist their Psycho Cuts or their Confusion. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep on rock sliding. Remember, coverage. You throw DD into Altaria. If my opponent stays, then they will take. Then you can have DD has a chance with rock slide. This is what I mean by typings. Typings are so important. And as you see over here, even though my Cresselia and my DD are kind of locked in together, you're going to see just exactly how the safe switch does. See how much damage it takes? DD is a great safe switch. It's very bulky. It also has coverage, like Rock Slide will cover Altaria, and Thunderbolt will cover Azumarill. You want the movesets cover a lot of the meta well. You can even put the Psycho Boost variant, which I have right here, which can allow you to pull off some really great plays like I'm doing right now. As you see, I'm just throwing Rock Slides at tomorrow because Rock Slides do chip damage. I'm going to let my safe switch go right here, and I will send in back my Shiftry. Now my Shiftry is safely back against a matchup, against a great matchup. So I lock in, I shoot off my Leap Blade. There you go. We see this Altaria come back in. As you see, I throw in my Registeel just in time to catch a Sky Attack. Now, this Altaria has to match up with my Registeel, and my Registeel will go against whatever my opponent switches into, or they will elect to stay in. Now, as you see, since my opponent stayed in, they probably have something that's weak to my Shiftry in the back. So you see how my safe switch, just gave me control of this match. By sending in my safe switch and realigning the battle, and like I said, moveset coverage is important too. Rock Slides cover Altaria, however, Rock Slide, when you saw versus Cresselia, Rock Slide comes off pretty fast, so it forces shield pressure and it can do some damage. Now this Altaria is matched up against my Registeel, and as you see, I was right. The Azu in the back loses against my Shiftry pretty hard because I outpace it, and I still have shields. As you see here, my opponent switches the Azu in. I still have 2-1. I have shield advantage and I have energy advantage because my opponent switched in while still doing lock-ons. I'll switch into my Leaf Blade here. This is a very advanced play. You'll switch into your opponent to start breaking shields or do damage. Since my opponent's switch timer is up, they are locked into this matchup. And now we have successfully used my safe switch to realign my Shiftry, which would normally lose against the Altaria. Now look at it. It's up against Azumarill now. This is why safe switch are so important, but not just safe switch, but the moves as well. I guarantee you, if I didn't have Rock Throw, if my opponent didn't feel like DD had Rock Throw, it would have stayed in there. So there you go. We get the Leap Blades. Leap Blades go off. We take off the buddy. We take the shields. Remember what I was talking about? That I outpace my opponent. Shiftry outpaces the Azumarill. with leaf blades, and it does a lot of damage. As you saw right there, we knocked out a shield and we KO'd the bird, and we KO'd the bunny, I mean. And now our opponent just elects to let this last leaf blade go because there's nothing it can do. We get the quit. GG's. Great display of the safe switch. Alright, so here's my pvpoke.com analysis on when I'm usually looking at safe switches. Now, this one's gonna be pretty short. I mean, if you didn't look at my lead video, please look at my lead video below. Also, please donate to this amazing website. It's a free resource. You can come on here anytime you want, and you can run as many simulations and battles, as unhealthy as it is if you do it for long periods of time, which I do on a daily basis for some odd reason. Anyways, ignore my banter. Behold, this is how I navigate. So when I'm looking into making a switch, /save switch, I'll go into the rankings tab, and then I will go to whichever league. You can do it for Ultra, you can do it for Masters, whatever. And then you see this tab right here called switches? There you go, there's switches. And then you will see a list of some of the best switches in the entire world, and their own matchups. And I hate you, Zapdos. No, I love Zapdos because you're my team mascot, but I just hate Zapdos as a safe switch because it's really effective. As you see, the reason why Zapdos is really effective as a safe switch is because it does so well against Azumarill, Reggie, Skarmory, Swampert, which you see a lot in this meta. Even Altaria, it has such great matchups against a lot of popular meta picks that could be either responding safe switches, leads, or even closers. That's why Zapdos is ranked number 1. Now, I use number 2, which is Deoxys. As you see, Deoxys has a great matchup against Registeel, against Swampert, against Altaria. You just saw that on the matchup against Altaria, Skarmory, Toxicroak. I look at all of these things right here. All of them. So I look at this, I look at what other people's safe switches might be. For example, what used to be featured on here, you see this? Shadow Sableye was featured on someone's matchup as Sableye. Actually, if you look at Sableye in general, you'll see a lot of Sableyes running around, but let's look at Sableye itself. See, Sableye is number 27. So even though they don't rank in top 1 through 10, that doesn't mean they aren't effective safe switches. So you have that Sableye, you have that one, and then you also have Azumarill, which is running rampant. Ironically, Azumarill ranks at number 38. But as you see, it still has great matchups against really popular picks. For example, like Registeel, Altaria, Swampert, Deoxys, Skarmory. I guarantee you'll see a lot of those in the Great League meta for a lead, switch, or closer. Alright, so we do that. I will look at every single one, and then after I find what I want to use, for example, Deoxys defense, I will go to the battle simulator. I will put the multi-battle on, and then I'll just look at Deoxys and just what is the true, like, scenario. So usually when you switch into your safe switch, unless you and your, ideally you'll probably have 2 shields. Hopefully you'll both have 2 shields still, or you just like decided to beat the crap out of each other for a little bit and then you switched into it. But either way, you usually start out with 2 shields. But I'll look at both. So I'll look at both the 1 shield and the 2 shield scenarios. So Deoxys D with the Rock Slide and Side Boost, which is what I use a lot. Look at it. In the 2 shield, it wins 77.9. That is really good. This is assuming the 2 shield scenario. So it will win over 75% of its matchups. That is that's a lot of matchups. A lot of matchups. And movesets I shoot. That's a lot. That's why Deoxys defense is such a great safe switch, because it's so good. It is so good. And then we'll run the 1 shield. So the 2 shield has that. Now we'll run the 1 shield. Now, of course, this is not like to the T. Of course, you have IVs and everything like that, but you win a even then, like taking away the IV dependent, like having such great matchups, you could tell the reason why I can switch a team and win so consistently in 7 days. Literally, I've been using this team for a very short amount of time, but I've gotten from rank 8 to rank 9 in Season 2 because of this team. And Deoxys D is my safe switch because of look how good it is. What do I have to do to sell Deoxys defense to you? Do I have to buy you a vacuum cleaner and tell you you will get a great discount on this vacuum cleaner? No, I gotta show you PvPoke. I gotta show you, look, these are 1 shield. In the 1 shield, original IVs against all Pokemon. Look at that, 85%. It is such a great safe switch mod. You want a safe switch that wins over at least 60% or more. For example, Deoxys D is what I use. What if you use Azumarill? Let's be real. Azumarill, and you safe switch in the 2 shield scenario. It's still very good. Watch. It's still a very good analysis. 66.7%. So it doesn't have to be quite as much as Deoxys D. However, above 60%, I would say is my standard. So we'll go. That's the 2 shield scenario. But in the 1 shield scenario, oh wait, no, that's no. Don't worry. That's it. Okay, go right there. Okay, perfect. Okay. Now you do this, and poof. As you see, it does better in 1 shield matchups, 75%. That's really freaking good. In the 2 shield, 66, and the 1 shield, 75% against all matchups on the 1 shield. Now let's do Sableye, which has been running around rampant for a long time. So let's do Sableye. So Sableye, Foul Play, Power Gem. So let's just assume it's the return variant. So you'll do Foul Play. Usually the return variant has one Shadow Call, Foul Play, Return. We'll run the 2 shield. Behold the madness. I'm telling you, get it on this website, start doing research. A lot of y'all are like, oh my god, I'm losing a lot. How much work have you put in outside? It's the work that you put in outside that will make you a better battler. You have 25 battles out the day. If you have time to complain about losing, you have time to do research. Literally, that's what I'm trying to sell you right now. See, in a 2 shield matchup, Sableye still does over 66%. Over 60% is good. Like I said, my standard is 60%. Now let's do the 1 shields. And poof, 66.9 with the 1 shield and the 1 shield again. Running it again. Install Pokemon in 1 shield. Poof. There's actually, see, this is actually a Sableye that's not even level 41. So we go to Advanced IVs and Stats, and you have yours Best Buddy. I don't have a Best Buddy one because I don't have Perfect. So let's do that. Let's give it level 41. We'll maximize it. There, we have a maximum Sableye. Perfect Sableye, Best Buddy, Ribbon. Now let's run the 2 shield scenario again, and let's assume that it's Best Buddy. Watch what happens. Watch how much it rises. Poof. Now 2% doesn't seem like a lot, but when you get to the higher levels where I'm at, and like all like the top 500 or like close to rank 9 or at rank 9 or above, everyone's trying to kill each other. So even just a little bit of an advantage will give you 1. And let's look at the 1 shield scenario. In the 1s, with the Best Buddy Sableye, you get very nice. You see, look, this is the only number that matters. I'm just kidding. Don't listen to this house, but 69%. That's still really good. See what I mean by my standard is over 60%. If it's not over 60% on 2 to 1 shield matchups, which normally you'll end up with, because if you're in the 0 shield, if you pop both your shields, that's not a safe switch. Like you are literally at the closing scenes of matches, and you're either trying to fire off combo and do all this crazy stuff, but you never want to be at the end. So this is my PV poke analysis. Again, use this website. It shows you so many things. You can run simulations, everything like that. Use pvpoke.com. Alright, now for the summary. I hope you guys enjoyed all the tips I'm giving you. I really do hope it helps you create an effective save switch for your team. Here's just a few summary what we covered today. Key points. Remember your typing stats and movesets. Typings are very important. The stats of your Pokemon, like I said, is it strong? Does it have fast attack? Does it put a lot of pressure? And it's movesets. Movesets are so important because as you saw on my match outcast, movesets are really important because they cover what your leads are weak against, and they cover a lot of the meta. They give you shield pressure. They matter a lot. Knowing your move sets gives you a great advantage over your opponent, and that coincides with number 2. Do your research. Research. If, like I keep saying, if you have a lot of time to complain about losing in Go Battle League, you have a lot of time to do research. Do research, but I mean like legit research. Like, look at a legit save switch. Don't just say, oh, this is what simulations say. Don't say like, oh, I ran one sim, or oh, I think this Pokemon is good. No. Put everything together and look for fact if that is real. And how do you do that? Look at that. And how do you also supplement doing your own research? Yo, watch content creators. And what do I mean by that? Watch content on YouTube and Twitch. I'm not the only person out here trying to educate you about safe switches. There are plenty of other great bios out there giving you their own perspective on great safe switches and how you can use them to your advantage. And now the secret tip of my safe switch video: cores. I haven't really seen a really in-depth video on like how core creation is developed. For example, a core is a great lead and a safe switch. Why are so many cores effective? Like, you'll see this around a lot. You'll see content creators create a lead, put a lead and a safe switch together, and then they'll put whatever the hell they want as a closer. But that's what a core is. Great cores cover a lot of the meta, and you can even effectively beat 2 Pokemon with 3 Pokemon. You can beat an entire team with 2 Pokemon if you have a great core. Great core and being good with a core can cause you to have a great closer. That's one of my secrets. Cores. Stay tuned. I will teach you about how to generate a great core. I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys have a wonderful day. And look out for the next video on closers and especially my secret tip, cores.